We got a super from our friend in Russia, I think.
Yes.
Once more, I cannot. I need to work how to run that through a translator so I can actually give you the proper credit.
Go and learn how to read Cyrillic.
But yeah, it says, congratulations on the Yogg video. Thank you. We had a lot of fun. That was a big network. And
my brainworm caused it.
yeah, that I think inhabited our brains for like 2 weeks before actually sort of, got written and then a little bit more before it got made.
It was great.
It says, by the way, Bolvar is not only a creature of light, life, and death, he's also a human. So he's a titanic construct.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Which means arcane, but then the curse of flesh is void. Which means the only thing left is Fel.
Yeah.
So if we could find a Fel connection for Bolvar, then...
He's the real protagonist of World of Warcraft now.
And he's Superman.
He's our Medan. Alright, I'll figure out if I can get that to work. Although...
oh, we haven't got an interesting one from...
okay, that's cool.
Grigoriev Stefan, who says, hello, I've been watching you since late mop. Love and support the channel. Thank you. My question is, do you believe that Chris Metzen's retirement had a negative impact on the story of World of Warcraft? I would say that is highly dependent on how you enjoy the story. So I think the modern story, for those of us who really like to dive deep into lore speculation and the fiddly mechanics of it all, the modern lore is just vastly more interested in that. Whereas Chris Metzen's lore was basically far more what would be cool, what would be epic, what would be fun. And that did mean that, was it always the most inventive? Absolutely not.
Never once.
As you are going to see in our upcoming Where World of Warcraft Came From video, like the Draenei. That's actually the name of a series of books. So it's that thing where I think that Chris Metzen's lore, or the way that he did it, could perhaps resonate with the players a little bit better in terms of their experience and their journey. But I think the modern lore is trying to be more deep and world building-y to varied levels of success. Now, what I will say is, you know, I think that the WoW lore was kicked off fantastically, especially, you know, with Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. And World of Warcraft, you know, vanilla did have some, you know, it's nice little moments and storylines and things. But we can't beat around the bush. Illidan was done dirty by the Burning Crusade. To a degree, Kael was done dirty by... I mean, the Burning Crusade... its lore was kind of awful sometimes. Like, Illidan's thing was just... Illidan has pure lost his marbles and is now talking to a skull. And he didn't really... And even though, you know, through the book, the new novel, Illidan, and the retroactive, you know, Legion basically reframing all of that stuff to make sense. But as presented at the time, no. TBC didn't have great lore. Wrath had, I think, way more success. Yeah. And Wrath stuff was great in a sort of a way that Warcraft 3 was great. Yeah. Cataclysm had, I think, lots of great ideas and lots of great moments in the smaller storytelling.
Definitely.
But Green Jesus, though.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy Thrall being the protagonist.
I think after TVC was a little bit out there, Wrath was done really well, but because it was kept sort of simple, and then evoked went further on like the old god stuff that was, you know, started with the Cthulhu and whatnot. I feel like this is going to come across a bit weird, but it's like Metzen's writing and entire style of storytelling was very, very, very personal, as we've fairly established. Yeah. It's extremely personal, and a lot of what he finds cool is very, very... this is maybe unfair to say, but boomer cool, where it's like, you could definitely imagine, it's like, it's like screaming big man axes.
It's like a Frank Frazetta, you know, piece of art, or like a metal album cover.
Yeah, I mean...
which, like, is actually, I enjoy a lot.
Yeah, and then you've obviously got the whole Azeroth choppers thing, where they had the big bikes, which is very Blizzard, you know, Elite Tauren Chieftain. They're this really, like, they're all awesome into the stuff that they really liked at the time.
Azeroth choppers was so fucking lame. And it was so weird. It felt like a 6-part midlife crisis.
Yeah, so I think
You know what? I hope my midlife crisis actually turns into 2 pretty cool motorbikes.
Yeah.
That would be okay.
Yeah, I think all that stuff worked super well at the time in the era, but that stuff, whatever the personal developments were, I think probably wouldn't match with what people very much like so much nowadays. Because I don't, like, all of those themes are definitely out of vogue. And while I think it might match the kind of older audience a little bit, there's definitely a general maturity to things that I don't think that Metzen's style would have really meshed with, unless of course he developed as a storyteller and a writer in the way that actually brought all this stuff into more modern sensibilities. But then looking at what he's off to do, D&D expansion or world book stuff is like, that's feels very much like a little bit of the past in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously don't know what that actually looks like.
I mean, in that case, it's that type of thing, and I think it's good that somebody is out there making that type of thing,
of course, yeah.
For that audience. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. It'll be interesting. Like, is that the sort of D&D thing that for the modern 5th edition, where I think D&D was quite a bit simplified and stuff, made more accessible, and then Critical Role and stuff like that kicks off. That audience basically boils down to, but a large part boils down to horny artists.
Yes.
Which, from what I now understand, is basically all artists.
Seems to be the case. Yes.
Whereas I think Metzen's era, D&D was a pretty different game, and I think it is a 5th edition compatible source book. But I'd wonder if, like, thematically and all of that, it's going to feel like more old school metal album sort of fantasy versus some of the modern stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd certainly be more interested in what War Chief is doing versus some of the modern D&D stuff, just out of personal preferences.
Yeah.
That depends what I'm doing. But.
Yeah, I think we ride the generational line where boomer shit's cool as fuck still.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just not quite what tickles the fancy. But a lot of times you're like, yeah, it's like I'm only 27, like, and I still, like, I see all of those memes of, like, just boomer standing there, all the boomer, the Wojak stuff, standing there with a can of Monster Ultra, just flexing, and some kid playing Fortnite. I'm just like, I still have a full head of hair. I completely identify with this bastard on his lawnmower pumping some 80s rock. Like, I completely identify.
Like, I was driving back from Dublin yesterday. It was all that era.
Yeah.
I was listening to. Which I mean is a bit weird, but I guess that's just how it develops. So, whether it's a negative thing for the story of WoW or a positive thing, different people will say different things. There's a lot of people who will look at the current lore and be like, it's more in depth. The characters generally have got a bunch more, time. Yeah. There's way more supporting materials. Prefer. Yeah. And certainly if you want, like, the nerdy shit of big universe building, like, the modern game does put more effort into that.
Yeah, there's a lot more unique and, well, not I don't say unique, but there's a lot more kind of newer kind of philosophy in the game here and there. Like, would a Metzen-led team have had the stuff around the Kyrian? Obviously it wasn't in game, it wasn't expanded upon super well, but all of, like, the identity questions that crop up in Bastion of, like, what actually are you if you're leaving memories behind or your past behind, all that stuff's, like, really interesting. But would Metzen's kind of stuff been happy to go down that route, or would it have just been, here's some cool intrigue and cool stuff going on? But then again, I mean, Thrall was always really, really cool as a character, and then the kind of Green Jesus stuff happened and was very much too much. But
I guess there's part of me that wonders, I mean, how much of that was even Metzen in Warcraft? Because he was on Titan, he was on Star 2, he was on Diablo 3. Like, he wasn't so... That guy got... I mean, I think we understand more and more why he went in that career sabbatical, because, he's doing Warcraft. He did Diablo, or he did Warcraft. World of Warcraft hits it off really big. You've got Diablo 3 development and StarCraft 2 development. And then, before, I guess, D3 and Star 2, there's, at some point anyway, Titan. Well, no, probably around the same time, because they were...
Was 2013? No?
Well, Titan kicked off.
Oh, ages ago. I'm thinking of when Jeff started.
Because I'm pretty sure Titan, was it 70 million they pumped into that? Or was it 50 million? It was a lot.
I imagine it was more than that.
whatever it is, it's like you don't even know how much Metzen was involved in the Warcraft lore.
Yeah.
You know, at a super deep, like, day-to-day level, because just purely with the amount of projects, including Titan, like, he must have been incredibly busy. And he was obviously busy enough that, you know, guy felt burnt out, and certainly props to him for having the wherewithal to say, enough is enough, I have to get out of this before it kills me.
Yeah, per man
Seems to be what happened to him.
pulp, like.
Yeah.
He just
And
squeezed.
seems it was a great decision for him. He's married.
Yep.
I think does he have a kid? I think he has a kid or something.
So.
Which, yeah, I mean, it seems like he got, you know, he made his money.
Got
He's
ahead
a
of
big
the game.
executive. He realizes it's all too much.
Yep.
He's then able to settle down, take a few years off. Now he's clearly doing a company that's a passion project because it makes him happy. I mean, is that not sort of what we all want?